Right, starting access. I'm just going to choose a blank database. I call it that and put it there. It's opened a table for me. I don't really want that, so I'm just going to close it. I hate the way that the interface opens a table and you can't change its size, so I'm going to make a change which I think you might find quite useful. Under current database in the options, instead of having tab documents so you can't move their windows about, you can have overlapping windows. So I'm going to choose that and say OK. That says you must close and reopen the current database, so we'll do that. So, reopening access. I'm going to reopen that database that I've made that change in. Now I'm going to create a table in design view. And now you see it's not a tab document anymore, you can change the table size, the window that shows the table. And what we're doing here is specifying the columns that are going to be in the table. So I'm going to have surname. I'll just accept the defaults for short text, 32 characters long. And first name, same again. And I'm going to have favourite fruit, just as a property that a person might have. And again, I'm just going to accept the default short text, 32 characters long. And if I close that, it'll ask me to save it. Yes. And give it a name. I'll call it table people. No, I don't want a primary key. That's technical stuff that we can deal with later. So now we've got all access objects showing. You can change these the way that they're categorized and what objects are shown, but we're showing all access objects. If I open the table, just double click it. Again, you can resize it and move it about. So in here I can fill in some people's names and their favourite fruits. Tab between fields. Okay, there's 5 records in a table. Each record comes in 3 columns, and you can sort on different columns. Or sort the other way, or sort from another column. Okay, so that's what tables do. They just hold data. And each column of data can have a different property. Access is quite nice in that you can look at this. At the moment we're looking at it in datasheet view mode. You can also look at it in design view. So go back and you can change the fields. Obviously changing the fields might destroy the data, but you can add columns or whatever. So the next thing I'm going to do is create a query. Query design view. I'm going to show table people. And a query is just a view of the data in a table or tables, as you'll see later. So I'm just going to put each field in. In fact, let's have first name first, and then surname, and then fruit. And you can sort on fruit. Again, I'll shut it and it'll ask me to save it. And I'll call that QLY people. So there's a query. And if you open it, it looks like a table, but it's just a view of the data in a table. And it's sorted on the fruit, because that's what I told the query to do. Again, you can just switch to design view while it's open. And one of the nice things about queries is, you might have heard of SQL. Well, that's the SQL for that kind of a query. But this table is a bit dodgy. I mean, we could put in another guy. And because I'm a person typing in data, I'm going to put apple instead of apples. And you can imagine that when you're trying to filter or sort data, that could be a problem. So is there a better way to do this? Well, yes, there is. So let's create another table in table design view. And let's put all the fruit that we might ever want in here. And we'll just accept the default for that. And let's add another thing. Because fruits could have lots of properties too. And we'll change this to a number. Again, close it and save it. We're not going to have a key because we haven't got enough data to worry about being very efficient. Now let's change the design of table people. It's a lookup. And it's a lookup in a combo box. And it's going to be from a table or query. And that table or query will be table fruit. Done. Now what we need to do is populate table fruit. Okay, there's some fruits and their vitamin C contents. Now when we look at table people, so the nice thing about this is they're all spelt correctly because they all come from a well-known reference place. And that's really nice. And now let's change our query so that we can see more things. So I'm going to add a table, table fruit, double click or click add. And I'm going to link favourite fruit in here to fruit name in here, and you can just drag it. So we've got first name, surname and fruit. Let's also add fruit content, vitamin C content, sorry. Now if we view that as a data sheet, isn't that wonderful? So that's the basics of tables and queries in Access. And really, that's the whole basis of Access. The other things you can create are forms and reports. And they're forms add a load of functionality, and reports are quite nice ways of displaying data. Built for the print era, but still very useful. So that was a lightning guide to Access. Thanks, bye.